Yeah.
Welcome to the Rhinebeck Scoop. I'm your host, Jennifer C., and I'm dishing out social commentary about our beloved town, Rhinebeck. This is your radio show, so give me topics you would like me to discuss, DM me, email me, or leave a voicemail. I will keep you anonymous unless you specify. Today, it's just me, my little rhinos. This is how my voice should sound, and this is my normal voice. This is my home microphone, so enjoy. I'm doing a mini episode because it's the first week of school and it's right after Labor Day, so I know you guys are super busy people this week. You may not listen until next weekend, or you may want to just quickly listen on that 15-minute drive for dropping the kids off. So that's why it's a quick episode. I just wanted to say too that I was going to do a behind the scenes episode, but I realized I need more content for that. So that'll be coming later in the year or next year when I gather more content. So let's move on to Boujee Banter. I received a wonderful comment from a wonderful listener. I'm a fan of the Rhinebeck Scoop, and I wanted to respond to Matty's comment about cycling and having e-bike shares, pubs, in Rhinebeck, Red Hook, etc. My husband and I are avid cyclists and moved to Rhinebeck from Amherst, Massachusetts 30 years ago. Like Matty, my husband did not have a driver's license and commuted everywhere by bicycle or public transportation. The Amherst, Northampton area has an extensive network of free buses and a great cycling culture. I fully support Matty's idea and would be happy to help make this a reality. If anyone is interested in forming a group or talking to this person, I have the person's name and phone number and email and all that. So I don't know. It's a good idea. I was driving along Rhinebeck right in the town the other day, and I was thinking, man, this is not a place for bicycles. It was so narrow between me and the car that was parked and my truck and the whole thing. So saying all that, I do think there is something about more of a push for having this more of a bicycle culture. I don't know if we'll ever be Northampton. I don't know if we'll ever be Amsterdam, but, we can have a little bit more. So if anyone wants to get involved, DM me, email me, and I will give you that listener's information. Speaking of Amsterdam, one of our beloved restaurants, the Amsterdam, has closed and is going to reimagine their operations. They are also looking into how to address some of the issues with the restaurant industry and hospitality industry. They said they may want to turn it more into an event space. So we will see what will happen. It's definitely a beautiful place. I'm not a brunch person. I hear it has a really good brunch. So that's a bummer for people who are going there to brunch. But I think this could be something cool for the town. It could be something where maybe they're going to throw weddings or something like that. I wonder if a part of the reimagining too will be bringing in more AI or more digital, because I am finding that it is so hard to get people to work in the restaurant business these days. I mean, I walked into a restaurant, this was in Great Barrington, a really popular one, and the server was saying that they work there every day, that the restaurant is open, and they can't find anyone. They've done everything. They said they've given bonuses. They have given them the days they want off. They've given them really good pay on top of tips, the whole thing. And they said they cannot keep anyone. And I understand. I come from a background of working in the hospitality and restaurant industry in and out throughout my life to pay off student loans, things like that. And it's stressful, people are like, I want my food now and I want my drinks now. And you're trying to make cocktails for 6 people and then another table has sat down and you have no support. It's a tough one. So I am waiting for that Applebee's type AI to come into Rhinebeck. And actually, I'm all for it. I'm all for, hey, you know what? We really don't have to talk, with all due. I'm just going to type up my order. It goes directly to the chef, so there's no mistakes if there's food allergies or anything like that. And then I can still talk to my server if I want to when they deliver the food, and they still get a good tip. So I'm all about the AI for that. I have to say that something has to be done because I keep seeing this over and over in restaurants. I digress. I wanted to talk about an event I did, and that is an Omega workshop. You guys know I love the Omega Institute, which is right here in Rhinebeck, and they get so many people a year. I think it's something like 20,000 people or 40,000 people. Sorry, I didn't check that. So let's say 30,000 people. They get a lot of people here a year. And from what I've seen, I'm there all the time. I love going to their cafe. And you know what I've never mentioned here? They also have an amazing gift shop, and it is like a toy store for metaphysical people. So I have to really be careful to not just go crazy in that store. And the people who visit and are guests at Omega, they say the same thing. The people taking the workshop, that it's hard to stay out of that store. They have a great cafe. If you haven't ever gone, they have a great store, lovely place to walk around. I like to stay here in Rhinebeck when it's summer because I get to do so much at Omega. And I know they were struggling with COVID, as so many organizations were. And now I see it as very thriving. The workshops are full. So I think Omega is here to stay, or at least I hope. And I took a wonderful workshop. It was a week long, 5 days, with Tony Stockwell on trance mediumship. For those of you that don't know, I've never talked about what I do for a living or anything like that. I'm your person that I'm into the metaphysical. I'm all into the psychic and the intuitive and the mediumship. And I'm that person, the shamanism. I'm that hippy dippy person. So it was really good. And again, Omega is a gem. You would be surprised by the extensive inventory of classes they have. The next one I'm going to is actually, it's this upcoming weekend. And it's about the nervous system and how to retrain my brain and my nervous system to help with the chronic illness. So yeah, you never know what you can see in the catalog. So I always tell people definitely sign up to get their catalog in the mail. And this is for my weekend warriors as well. Sign up, go onto their website, eomega.org, have the catalog mailed to you. It comes around, I think it comes around April now. And it's so much fun to flip through. I keep it on the dining room table. And the funny part is I'm like, okay, I'm going to do these workshops when I get the catalog. And then it changes. And then I wait a month or two and I want to do completely different workshops. And that's what I end up doing. I absolutely love to threaten my husband with the couples retreat if he gets out of line. So there is that. Do you want to pay it forward? Then give this podcast a 5-star rating wherever you listen. On Apple Podcasts, go to the page with all my episodes listed, scroll down, click tap to rate, and click on 5 white stars and they will turn purple. To add a 5-star review, click on write a review. This takes less than 60 seconds of your time to ensure that people like you will find this podcast. On Spotify, go to the main show page, click on the 3 dots on the right next to the settings symbol, click on Rate Show, and give me 5 stars. If you have a partner, older children, or anyone else in your household that has a phone, make sure to borrow their phones and rate too. Good vibes all along. Thanks, guys. Let's move on to my weekend warrior segment. Last night, I had dinner at Pretty to Think So in Rhinebeck. Yes, people, I went out. I went out past 5 o'clock. Be proud of me. Drove into Rhinebeck, my husband and I. And, I'm going to be honest with you. When I was looking at the menu, I said to myself, I'm not sure this is going to be our cup of tea because some of the menu is very creative. And I know people who are rich love that shit. You know what I mean? When I used to work on private jets, I was a flight attendant on private jets, corporate flight attendant podcast shout out. I was used to seeing some of the weird food they would bring on or their chefs would pack them. So I get that, but I'm not that much of an experimental eater and neither is my husband. So I was a little concerned. And also the name is a little strange. It sounds like a clothing store more than a restaurant. And I'm not trying to be down on our wonderful restaurants and our businesses, but it's a little bit of an odd name for the restaurant business, but it stands out. You remember it. I have to say that. The name Pretty to Think So originates from Ernest Hemingway's The Sun Also Rises, which is a great book. I love that book. Just a little fact, if you guys don't know this about Hemingway, is F. Scott Fitzgerald, who wrote The Great Gatsby, heavily edited Hemingway. So if it wasn't for Fitzgerald, we would not have the wonderful poetic Hemingway we do today. So I always found that really interesting. I started out at Pretty to Think So with a cucumber strawberry salad. Gonna be honest with you, thought it was good, but I wasn't really bowled over. I felt that the cucumbers were too large and they should have really chopped up the cucumbers more because we had to spend time just chopping these huge chunks of cucumbers. We stirred it around, mixed it around, and I felt that the flavors were good, but they weren't amazing. So I wasn't bowled over by that. We then moved on to the twice baked potato with truffle oil. And I have to say that was an absolute winner. Super yum, crispy skin, celery root cream, which I really liked. And it was like melt in your mouth, but then it had that potato chip type of crispy skin. So I thought it was a good combination. As you guys know, I'm not a restaurant reviewer, so I'm trying my best here with the adjectives I'm using, but it was really fucking good. There you go. The next thing we had, the main course, was the hanger steak, which we're always fascinated to see hanger steak on a menu, because if you guys don't know that there's one hanger steak per cow, so it's a very precious thing. And when we see it in a restaurant, we're like, wow, that's kind of amazing that they have hanger steak. And we also want to talk to the owners of Pretty to Think So. If they're listening, definitely hit me up if we can bring in our own hanger steak from our beef and if they would cook it. I think that'd be cool. And we were very interested in that because, again, we own a cow farm, we process, we have our own beef. So we're like, okay, is this going to match up to our hanger steak? And I have to say, it was amazing. We had it medium rare. What they put on it, I think they put some type of root vegetables and a sauce that was very clean. It was very light. It was more like a dressing. And I really liked the side salad that came with it. I liked the side salad with the hanger steak better than the cucumber strawberry salad. I thought it was just so melt in your mouth, the hanger steak. So that was a really well done job. I did not detect any industrial seed oils in the dishes we ordered. I would have had a reaction, and it's now 12 hours or more later, and I've had no reaction. So good on them. I have to applaud them for using, my guess is olive oil, butter, or something like that. So awesome. The dessert was, my husband had key lime pie, which is not my cup of tea, but it was very tangy with a punch. He really liked it. I thought it was good, but again, key lime pie in general is just not my thing. I had the macaroons, and it was so cute. It came in a book that opens, and they were amazing. I think they were something like strawberry, hibiscus, and chocolate. I think I have that right. And they were delicious. Had no reaction. I'm telling you, they were super well made, because if they weren't well made, I would feel very... If it was too much sugar, this morning I would have really felt it, and I felt great. And I didn't feel like I woke up and was craving sugar. So that's also a big indication that they were well made. Very impressed on that. The service was great. The staff was friendly. Gratuity is included, which I know makes life easy for many of us. I'm going to be honest with you. It was 18% service gratuity. And I felt that wasn't enough, so I actually tipped a little more because I always want to make sure I'm tipping my server, especially if they do a good job, more than 20%. So, bring a little extra cash if you can, so you put a little bit more tip in there. I know you guys can afford it, so definitely make sure you do it. And they had my favorite, which is Saratoga Sparkling Water. I love that brand. And then my husband had the Jack Abbey Lager, which is his favorite. So really good selections there. Overall, it was a great experience. I would give it a 9 out of 10. I would not give it a 10 because it's such a small space. Even at 5:30 p.m. on a Thursday, we were sitting on top of the people next to us. Luckily, they were considerate. They were not loud talkers. We were not loud talkers. We didn't have anyone in the restaurant screaming or loud talking or drunk or anything like that. I would have to say, if you go in there at 8 p.m., on a Friday, Saturday night, I can't imagine what that's like. It must be like you would have to be the type of person that loves that type of atmosphere and loves drinking and being loud, and because that place is small. And I will say this, they do have a patio in front and then they have a patio on the side. The patio on the side, unfortunately, wasn't open. I would have sat there. But even with those two patios open, it's still a small space. So I have to tell you, you absolutely have to make a reservation to my Weekend Warriors. And and I also have to give a little off for the first salad, the cucumber strawberry salad. It's a great place, though. Overall, I see it as a Rhinebeck treasure now. I'm definitely going to go back. Don't let the name deter you. I recommend Pretty to think so. I'm just going to say for white people problems that I did not enjoy the person who fucked with me at Sunflower. You know who you are. You know you're out there. No one fucks with me in Sunflower. And you definitely don't screw with me when I'm shopping for salmon, because this person was hoarding all the salmon and going through each one. You guys were like 25 things of salmon. And she wouldn't let me get in there. And finally I said, I have to get in there. And she goes to me, I swear to God, she goes, I'm not done. You can wait. Are you fucking kidding me? No, I'm not. You're sitting there doing this for 5 minutes or whatever. So I said to her, no, I'm going to go look for myself. She was not happy with that. And she grumbled at me. I can't remember what she said. And I said to her, it's not that hard to be generous and a nice person. I know that's probably hard for you, but it's easy for others. And she did not like that. I heard a grumbling under her breath, which is probably like a go fuck yourself, which I'm fine with. But if you try to come at me at Sunflower, again, I am coming for you. I once had someone come at me at Tops and I went for them too. So don't mess with me when I'm grocery shopping. Amen. My sweet of the moment is at the Epicurean, they have these natural lollipops, and I find them to be so good. They're sitting right by the register, and they're so yummy. They cost a little bit. I think they're like $3.25. And I was like, $3.25 for a freaking lollipop, but they actually are really good. They're all natural. I like them, so go get them. My other sweet of the moment is I'm seeing more diversity in the Rhinebeck streets. Thank God I'm not the only representative anymore. So that was exciting to see yesterday when I was out and about. So that's cool. And then my sour of the moment is the speed bump at Star Library. Holy shit. I swear they raised that thing a foot every time I drop off a book. I have literally sailed over the pavement, practically into the pool the last time I was there. So I wish they would make that a little less. To leave feedback on anything I've said today, I'd love to hear all of it. Agree with me. Tell me I'm totally wrong, whatever you want. You guys, I would love actually if you would tell me if I could get feedback on if you liked this solo episode or not. Because I don't know, I just want to see if I can include solos. I'm a big solo episode person. I do it for my other podcast, but I'm not sure if it works for the Rhinebeck Scoop. I'm not sure if you want to hear Jen and Matty in every single episode. So just let me know what you think. Call and leave a voicemail at 845-307-7446 or email me at comments@radiofreerhinecliff.org. Follow me on Instagram at Free Spirit Podcasts. This radio show is produced by me, Jennifer C., Matty Rosenberg, and Jen Hammoud at Radio Free Rhinecliff. You guys, we've been having some technical issues, so the next episode should drop on Tuesday, September 17th, 2024, or whenever Matty decides to drop it. Either way, until then, have a wonderful Maulid al-Nabi, or Mohammed's Day, which is the annual festival and holiday commemorating the birthday of Mohammed. There you go. You learned something today. See you in 2 weeks. Love you, RBK.
Yeah.